Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to this intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all things so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So Manny went to court, City Manny. I've been keeping you updated with this case. I've been doing a lot of follow-ups. I'm very intrigued with this case, man. It's not every day you see a fellow content creator, someone who's creating content on the same platform that you're utilizing, how they lose it, how they go out backwards, how they ultimately unalive two people, murder two people right in front of everybody, right on the strip. It's unfortunate, it's crazy, and it's even took a bigger twist. So Manny was in court. Manuel Ruiz, aka Sincity Manny, and those are two different people. Let's separate them for a minute. Manuel Ruiz is the man that is fighting for his life right now. Basically, he has two murder charges, two first-degree murder charges, and regardless of what he said, and what he said was crazy, right? He is guilty as Sin City. Okay, and then you have City Manny, who sometimes was a clown, who sometimes was a gangster, who all the time was a man working towards something, right? And somehow, some way, the person that was City Manny crept into Manuel Ruiz's real life and ultimately is going to be the demise of his fate. And that's just the truth. You know, some people become a character on social media. They're not their true selves. You know, they utilize that charisma that they have, the game that they have, where they grew up, or whatever. They spot something going on in the flux capacitor and they take off at 88.8 miles per hour, right? Manny did that. He spotted a weakness in the whole Sin City family thing that was going on with his channel. He realized that he wanted to be an entertainer to the fullest. And when someone began to try to hinder that entertainment, I don't want to use the word troll because I think that's disrespectful to Finney the Legend and his wife. I don't want to use the words troll, even though at some points, man, just being unbiased and not sugarcoating nothing and giving you no added preservatives, that's exactly what the fuck it was. And it went both ways. They began to troll each other. They began to manipulate people into joining the fray, into actually picking and choosing sides, which is what you never want to do when you're a content creator. Look, you're going to have your supporters. I have my supporters, people that fuck with me and rock with me to the fullest. And then there's people that talk their shit and they're going to have their supporters. And I respect it. And I respect their supporters' opinion if it's based on fact. But if it's based on bullshit, well, then I'm going to call it like I sees it and I'm going to call it out, right? So that's the unfortunate part about this content creation is we can't, for most times, just be ourselves. Now, I choose to be myself. I don't choose to put on a front. Gunner is not a character. This is who I am, who I've always been. But that's my prerogative. I could do what I want to do. Other people feel it's easier to get behind a camera or behind a computer or a keyboard or whatever by not showing their true emotion, their true face, or who they really are. In Sin City Manny's case, all these different characters that he played or he portrayed, that was just part of the shtick. That was just part of the entertainment process, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie. Some of these characters looked a little too Aitu-ish. And if you don't know what Aitu is, refer to the Gunner Dictionary, and it's gonna be probably a picture of your uncle right there talking about "give me a hug," right? So when I say that, I mean some of these characters looked a little outlandish and a little bit too crazy for my vibe, right? But that was him. There, he had a following. He had people rocking with him. They supported him. They supported the Sin City family cause. His wife Julie, himself. And I ain't mad at him, right? He found his niche, he found his lane, he was in it. Now, on the opposite end of the side of Fremont Street, we have a guy from Arizona, Finney the Legend, who decided that for whatever reason, his lane was going to be Manny. His lane was going to be everything Manny did. He was going to be, his channel was a critique channel. He was going to critique Manny on everything he did. And in doing so, that got Manuel's attention. That not only did it get Manny Wise's attention, which you already know you were going to have some clownish activities, right? But that also got Manuel Ruiz's attention as a man. And when he felt that that guy, Finney the Legend, was crossing the line, exposing who Manuel Ruiz was, not who Manny Wise is, right? And started to invade his life and be a thorn in the side, a part of his real life, well, then the real Manuel Ruiz came out. And that was an ugly situation. I'm seeing this guy get a lot of hate. Look, did he or did he not murder two people in cold blood on the Vegas Strip? It's on camera. Absolutely. What are the reasonings behind that is what's going to be brought up in trial. And we ultimately get the death penalty or an LWOP, life without the possibility. Because right now, to be honest with you, having done 19 years incarcerated in my lifetime, being part of the prison genre, even though I don't want to be, but I'm stuck here, right? And being part of all that and having the knowledge you can't get in college, I'll tell you guys right now, he will never, ever get out again, not in our lifetimes, and probably not in his children's lifetimes, which is very unfortunate, right? But he still has air. He still has oxygen. He still has life. He still has hope, right? Hope to maybe change his ways of thinking, his twisted ways of thinking, because there was something I seen yesterday at his court case that made me scratch my head and say, damn, homie, the fuck you got going on there? His mind he's wound different. You know, I was told when City Manny first got incarcerated, when he did the shooting, there's no denying it. That was him, his hand, his gun, Finney the Legend shots, right? And when he did this and the internet exploded and everyone was doing their angle and their take on it, and I took more of a relaxed take, whereas I want to analyze this to the fullest because I want this to be something ongoing. You know, I want to take you guys every step of the way through this. I feel that Finney the Legend's family deserves, you know, the context of the content. They deserve justice. But also, we can't let this die because being a content creator, it's sentimental to me. It's intriguing. It's a I won't say a great story because it's a tragic story, but it shows how easily it could hit home for any content creator that's running his mouth, that's talking shit, that's in a Hatfield McCoy situation. It shows you guys that Vegas is on fire. It showed you that. And shout out to Las Vegas, man. I heard my name circulating down there as far as there's some people that don't like my content and then there's some that do. I'm not trying to disrespect Las Vegas whatsoever, man. I've been to Vegas. I go to Vegas. I will be in Vegas one of these days again soon. But what I will say about Las Vegas is they are being put on the map as far as showing people it gets real serious out there. Okay. And whether it was done by Manny and you don't support him or Finney the Legend and you don't support him, these two men came to a head and Bubbly was just a casualty of war, which is unfortunate. They were having a Hatfield McCoy moment and Hatfield destroyed McCoy. And that's fucked up, but that's just the way it is, uncut. Now, I watched Manny go to court yesterday. And when he went to court, the true Manny came out. The Manny Wise took over Manuel Ruiz. That persona, that, man of 1,000 faces, that juggalo, whatever he was or claimed to be, took over for just an instance in the courtroom, right? And it led me to believe that this man is exactly what people told me he was. See, when he first got arrested, there was a lot of people that reached out. And I was like, my analytical thinking started to go, being a ex-criminal, an ex-convict. I started to think the way a criminal would, or someone who's fucking going through a trial or is going to go through a trial. And I thought about it, and I thought about all the evidence they had against this man, all the evidence that was going to be brought up. Good for him and bad for him, and bad for him even worse because it's on camera right then and there, right? Of him doing the shooting, and I said, man, this guy's going to ultimately take a deal. That's in his best interest to take a deal. That was prior to them even bringing up the death penalty, which we're going to get to in a minute because it's being brought up in a real way. And I'll give you guys my perspective on it. It doesn't look good for Manny, right? But I thought, okay, he's probably going to get a lawyer. I don't know if it's going to be a paid lawyer, if his finances could finance that, but he'll get a lawyer, a public defender, or whatever the case may be. And he's going to immediately start trying to hammer out a deal. He's going to get at he's going to have his lawyer get at the district attorney, see what he can get. Probably a life, 25 to life, 45 to life, whatever they decide to give him, but an L at the end of it. No, or if he can get a date, he'll try to get 50 years a date, whatever. Whatever in his best interest, but he's trying to avoid any type of death penalties or anything like that, right? And LWOPs. He doesn't want life without the possibility. He does want a date. Okay. People got at me. They were like, bro, you don't know Manny like that. That dude is an entertainer. That dude is a shallow person. That dude is a narcissist. All these different mean words they used for this guy, right? And it had me thinking like, damn, I don't know, but Well, I kicked it with him and I could tell you he changed. And people do. They do, man. They get that social media. They get starstruck with social media and they believe that they become a star. Just because a few people are supporting, sending them money and watching them, they think like their shit don't stink. There's been a lot of people that have gotten at me, hey, Gun, you think you're bad now? And I don't think nothing. I don't call people fans. I call people supporters. If you support me, I support you just the same, right? If you're willing to reach out and support me, I'm willing to do the same. And I've showed that time and time again, myself and Dubs. That's what we do. We're supporters of the people that support us. We're even bigger supporters of them because, man, very, very humbled, right? Manny was not displaying that. Manny became the characters he was acting out. It was like a big thing to him. And he truly was chasing clout and entertainment. That's just the facts. You could see it. Money was good. Clout was even better. And that's what that man ultimately was after. So, yes, his style may have changed. He may have seemed to some as a narcissist, but you got to separate the two people that was there living within that body, the Manny Wise, the Sincity Manny Wise, and Manuel Ruiz. Two different people. Manuel Ruiz was a man that went home to his family trying to fucking make it any way he could, pay his bills. I'm not justifying or making you feel sorry for him. That's up to you of how you feel. I'm not here for that. I'm just giving you facts, right? The Sin City Manny that we all seen when we watched his channel, if you ever came across his channel, which I did several times, it just happened to be in my feed. I like casinos. Boom, voila. There's a fucking clown dancing on Fremont Street with his fat old lady. No disrespect, Julie, but I'm just keeping it real, right? So my thing is this. I see people got at me and they're like, hey, he's not gonna ever take a deal. He's gonna want the attention. He loves attention. He craves attention. And there are people that do that, right? But that's easy to say when you're not the one facing life or the possibility of death in prison. That's all easy to say. Oh, he should have not did this. He shouldn't have did this crime. He should have avoided it. He's a disappointment. There's a lot of people that supported him that fell off like, I can't believe he did this. And then there's people that are shocked, just straight up like, I really can't believe he did this. Well, look, the facts are he did. Okay? But when people said, oh, he's going to fucking play this one out, he's going to milk this one, I was like, wow. Did that personality of Manny Wise really take over? Well, I'm here to tell you, I seen it yesterday. It popped out. As Manuel Ruiz was being led back into the county jail from court, right? He made a statement that said, I'm innocent. Fuck no, you're not innocent. Come on, bro. In the words of Cholo Juan, you're not innocent. Not at all. It's plain as day. It was in high definition in some videos. You pulled out the thang and you got the thanging, right? That just is what it is. Now, what I understand him to believe is he believes himself truly. Truly, he believes himself. And I don't know what his pretending ass lawyer is telling him, but because he was being what he felt bullied or harassed or negatively, the negativity was there. They were talking about him in a negative light. Look, that never, ever, ever gives you the right to end two people's lives. I don't give a fuck what people say. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but that 40 cal will definitely hurt you, right? It wasn't that far gone where there couldn't be some get backs as far as a conversation being had behind the scenes, or maybe just distance yourself from whatever he's got going on and not pay attention. Now, everything's going to come out in trial because obviously this man, it seems like, is going to trial. So maybe the people were right. Maybe he does want this. Or maybe later on he will get a deal. he'll jump on it and bye-bye Manny Wise forever, right? Manny Ruiz as well, because they are two different individuals. And Manny Wise popped out yesterday. I'm innocent. Bro, he either craves the attention or in his fucked up mind, he really believes he's innocent. No, homie. Nah, bruh. Hey, brother, you're guilty, brother. Like the homie, like the Uso homie used to say, fuck that, brother. You did that, brother. Right? You did that. You will suffer the fate of the consequences for which your hand held. Boom, boom. That's it. You know, there's a lot of people that get at me that support Finney, man, and feel, oh man, you're painting Finney like he was a bully or harassing someone. He was. He was. That doesn't mean he should have been killed, man. Let's be honest here. There was another guy, hey, gun, you don't like him because he's a black man. Nope. You said that. I didn't. I don't give a fuck if he was green from the planet fucking Mars, right? Doesn't matter to me. He still didn't deserve to be killed. He could have talked. There's a lot of dudes that have said worse shit about me and talked about me and called me all these different types of things. And I don't hate them. I don't like them, but I don't hate them. They can't invoke emotion in me. They don't get me to the point where I'm going to lose my freedom and being around my children and doing my thing, eating steak and getting my monies and all that good shit, right? Because they talk shit. Let them live miserable, homie. I'm living great. I'm making Gunner great again, right? I'm doing me. So for Manny to even allow these people, whether they were bullying or talking shit about him, to get him to that point, that's female tendencies. I'm not saying he's that. I know there's supporters that support him, man. You know, I feel that he got what he's got coming and he's going to deal with it the way he deals with it. Now, let's leave all the feelings and emotions to the side, right? Because Manny got emotional enough for all of us. And I'll say this. When he said the I'm innocent thing, he believes it. If you look into his eyes, I slowed it down the video. I got the video, right? He's walking out and he's like, I'm innocent. Like either he was playing the bad guy, the Scarface. You're never going to see a bad guy like this again. I guarantee it. No, Manny, you're never going to see tacos again. I guarantee that, you know, unless it's fucking that bullshit they give you right there in the county, you know, with the fucked up flour tortilla you have to make yourself. Been there, done that. Sucks, right? You ain't never gonna see tacos, what is it? Tacos gordo again. El gordo, you're not gonna see that. I mean, you were right there, high definition. It was in Vegas on you. Spend some. Look, no need to rub that in. Many people have done that to me in the past. Hey, homie, I just went and had lobster steak. It was bomb. One of these days. Well, guess what? The other day I did that. That's a fact. Manny won't be able to do that because you reap what you sow. You make your bed, you lay in it. Doesn't even matter if it's a leaky water bed. Then you're going to have water all over your back. But you must lay in what you do. They said in court, July 29th. That's a very key date in Manny's whole situation. That is the pinnacle, the date, the turning point in this trial that's going to be upcoming. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why. On July 29th, the district attorney, some county commissioners, the judge, and whoever else, whatever gaggle of law enforcement that is involved with this process are going to meet. And they're going to ultimately decide if the death penalty is on the table for Manuel Ruiz. Manny Wise died once Manuel got locked up. He might peek his head out every once in a while, but that persona, them characters are gone, never to be seen again. As far as Manuel Ruiz, they will have his fate in their hands. See, that's what happens when you commit crime. We don't understand that. We think we're gangsters and gang members and hardcore criminals and really about that street life. But what happens is when you commit a crime and you get locked up, you lose your freedoms. You lose your rights. You are no longer in control like you think you're in control. I mean, you got control of your body. You can piss when you want to, piss your pants if you want to, right? You can eat if you want to or choose not to. You have the basic fundamentals of your body is under your control. But where you go, where you're placed, what water or what food is freely given to you, all these things you have no more control. And Manny is going to lose control July 29th when a bunch of people that he's never met before are going to decide whether they're going to make him do life in prison or kill him. Just like he decided Finney the Legend and Bubbly's fate, other people are going to decide his. And that's a cold thing to sleep on. So on July 29th, they will be having this meeting where they decide ultimately if they're going to put the death penalty on the table. I'm going to be truthful and honest with you. I believe they will. I believe the way he's displaying, the way he's acting, what evidence there is, they are going to make an example, a prime example out of Manuel Ruiz. I hope not, for everybody's sake, his family, his children. For him, he's lost. But for his family and his children, I would hope not. Regardless of what, you got to understand this, regardless of what you do, regardless of how crazy, you could be a serial killer, you could be a crazy motherfucker, right? You could be some weirdo, whatever. Your family still loves you and care for you. And they're the innocent ones caught up in this, just like Finney the legend, his wife and his family. Finney maybe not as innocent as people would think. Don't act like he's a martyr and he just didn't do nothing, because he contributed to his death as well. When you run your mouth, you're taking a chance. When you're telling the person that you're going to pull up to their area and you know that they're fucking on some psychopath shit, you're taking a chance. When you have your old lady with you in that area and you're playing the tough role, do you guys actually know that one of the last things Finney said before Manny ran up on him and they had their confrontation? He was online. He was streaming. Someone's last comment to Finney was, "That fool's a sucker. He ain't going to pull up." He said, "Facts, Donut." Some guy named Donut told him something to that nature. "Fool ain't going to pull up. Fool's a coward, right?" He said, "Facts." Donut turned around and got shot a gang of times. I guess Donut didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, huh? Look, no disrespect to anyone, but that's just the facts and the way it goes. So Manny on July 29th will go through that situation. We'll find out after his trial is set to begin in August. Seems like they're fast tracking this shit. I remember back in my days, trials took years. We fought shit for years. Nowadays, that shit happens quick. Diddy's already almost out. Like, fuck, what? Where does time go? They ain't got no time to play no bullshit. They put you on the fast track, a speedy trial. See you later, buddy. They want to stretch you out and give you all day. Anyways, we're going to see. That's the latest update on Manny. He did try to say, "I'm innocent." I'm sorry, Manny. You're not innocent at all. If anything, he has some sort of, it's not even a case. He's done. He's roasted. Put a fork in him. Roasted goose, right? But what he does have is an opportunity during trial to explain the justification in his mind for what he done. I don't support him. I don't support the other side. I support real talk. This is the gun. Or in fact, I said it the wrong way. I support everybody, but it's still wrong. The gun. Bang, bang.